Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. So, today I want to talk about something really deep, something we all do, something we all go through, yet, time and again, we forget the beauty of every moment. We forget to be grateful for every moment. And we keep going back to our usual way, of being critical, not just with ourselves, but with the world, complaining, not being able to see what's good in a situation, and quite naturally, I would say, always looking for, how things can become worse and succumbing to that bodily fight or flight, like that trauma response, right? So I want to actually talk about something that most of us only realize when life shakes us. We are in this autopilot mode that I just talked about, criticizing, finding how life can mess us up, every moment thinking about how we can lose something, being in that danger zone, so to say, right? And it's only when life shakes us, when a crisis comes knocking at our door, that something within us shifts. Something within us takes us to that mode of surrender. And we've all been through that, isn't it? God forbid there is a death in the family, there could be a loss of job, there could be a health scare, and it suddenly transforms the whole, like it transforms everything we ever know about life. Not to say that we don't know how to be grateful, not to say that there are no good things coming out in our lives, but we keep thinking about, or we are stuck in our survival mode in our day-to-day lives until and unless something really hits us. Yeah. Why is it that only when life gives us a scare, any kind of scare, it could be a health scare, loss of business, anything, yeah, we suddenly stop taking, that stress, that tension, and we start valuing every breath? Haven't you noticed that if you're going through a health scare, suddenly you're nice to everyone? Suddenly you become nice to your own self. Suddenly you start telling yourself it's okay, you kind of motivate yourself. And everybody starts praying, everybody starts having that, believing, having that faith. And there is this like real surrender that happens where, you really trust that unknown power to take over and to bring you out of the situation. Yeah. But my question to all of you is that why do we wait until we lose a job to appreciate having one? Why do we wait until we lose a loved one to finally understand how much they meant to us? Yeah. This conversation is going to be raw, real, and maybe even uncomfortable, but it is also going to be healing, grounding, and awakening. Because the truth, folks, is very simple, that we are all mortal beings. And the question is, can we live with that awareness every single day, every single moment? So think about the last time you were sick, really sick. Maybe you caught the flu, maybe you were bedridden, maybe, you couldn't move for a few days, right? Or maybe you had like a health crisis that shook you to your core. In that moment, you weren't worried about your deadlines or your promotion or your office politics. You were simply praying for your health. You were grateful for being able to breathe, to sit, to walk, to eat without pain. And yet, the moment we get better, we forget. We go back to complaining, rushing, worrying. Isn't that true? Or take the example of our jobs, right? How many times do we hear people complain, I hate my job, I hate my boss, my boss is terrible, I'm so stressed, I can't have any balance in my life, I'm constantly working, I need to work for money, I need to take care of my family, yeah? And then suddenly, boom, one layoff letter, and the same person cries and says, I would give anything to have my job back. Yeah? Or let's talk about relationships now. We fight, we argue, we take people for granted. We do, right? Be it our partners, be it our parents, be it our whoever, right? Friends, people, everyone. And recently I was reading about, somebody who was really not in a good space in their relationship, right? And then there was this mishap that happened, okay, where basically their partner, passed away in an accident. It was a sudden passing, right? And suddenly, this client of mine, it was almost like his heart stopped, pounding, because he loved the partner so much. Yet there were so many fights that he really wished, that he could tell his partner how much he loved him, loved the partner, yeah. And these are the little moments that make you realize, that shake you, and it really begs us to ask these questions. Why do we need pain to teach us gratitude? Why do we need death to teach us how to live? And I understand that, these are polarities, and if there is darkness, there is light. However, you don't need to go through darkness in your life in order to realize that there is light. Yeah. And this happened with me a couple of years ago, and I was in a state where I was constantly rushing, constantly complaining, constantly whining, constantly just not being able to find my ground. And I was worried about the future. I was thinking about what will happen, and in that mode, I wasn't taking care of my health. I wasn't, doing my meditation. I wasn't, drinking enough water. I was just worried. I was marinating in my worry, and that led to a hospital visit. And very soon, very soon after that visit, my perspective changed, folks, completely. 180-degree shift. Yeah, in the sense that I wasn't complaining anymore. I didn't even care about what would happen in the future. I was just in that gratitude mode of coming out of that pain that I was in. I just wanted to, be able to, I was so grateful to just be able to come back home, be able to relax, take care of my food, manage, my health. And that's when I realized that many of us had these soul contracts, okay? And those soul contracts can be karmic in nature, okay? And one of the things that we do, is that whatever we've done in the past, we carry the guilt from those past lives, okay? And if we were the perpetrator, say, in certain situations, we carry the guilt from those lifetimes, and then we put ourselves through the same situations because we feel that karmically we made someone suffer, so now we need to suffer, and only then can there be a balance. You see how that goes? So this is all happening at a karmic level, at a soul level. However, I am here to tell you that you don't need to yield to that guilt. You don't need to suffer in order to grow. You don't need to go through pain in order to feel good. And again, there is no blame game here, guys. Don't think that, oh my God, this is what I do. This is a soul program. Most of us, many of us, most of my clients also have it, where this is a karmic pattern that follows us, and we we program ourselves to go through, like, say 10 hurdles and only then get a job, 50 hurdles only then get a relationship, right? 25 hurdles to get good health. You get it? And so these are pre-programmed and they can be cleared. I mean, you all know that this is what we do, right? In healing, mindset work, all of this can be changed. You have a choice every 10 seconds. And I've been saying this in many of my episodes, right? So, no, even if there is a contract, even if there is a vow, even if there is a, pact, everything can be cleared and you can move forward with peace, calm, happiness, joy, and glory. And yes, we all deserve that joy and glory and ease. And no, we do not need to suffer for it. Okay? Contrary to what you've heard, contrary to what, people say, what our culture tells us, our ancestors have seen, there is this embedded, even in your DNA, where you have to go through something, you have to do something, even in action wise, right? ये करोगे तो वो मिलेगा, मेहनत करोगे तो फल मिलेगा. You can get what you want easily and effortlessly. However, the only caveat is that you are energetically aligned. And that's all I ask all of you to be. And that's why I talk about ease, I talk about grace, I talk about gratitude, because these frequencies are super healing. These are the frequencies that let you be in ease, that let you be in that effortless, beautiful energy. And as I'm speaking, I see this beautiful bird outside, just outside my window, beautiful blue bird. And this is what the frequency is. When we are in the flow, nature starts connecting with us. And what's nature? Nature is this energy. Money, love, success, everything that you want is that energy that I'm talking about. And when you emit this frequency, those things just match and come into your life, right? So let's pause here, okay? Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what are you grateful for right now? If you're listening to this podcast, you have access to the internet, you have access to your computer or your phone or whatever, right? Wherever you're listening to it, you have ears, right, to be able to listen to stuff, right? You have a functional brain to understand what I'm saying. You can breathe, you're breathing and you're listening. You have that opportunity to learn and grow and be inspired by this podcast. There are so many aspects right in this moment you can be grateful for. The second is, who is in your life today that you would be heartbroken to lose tomorrow? And I'm sure all of you can count at least one person. Yeah? What do you complain about daily that deep down you know is actually a blessing? This is a big one, folks. Yeah? We complain about that job, we complain about that car that, is so difficult to start, but, we're so grateful that it takes us to, places. Complain about the house, it's so small, yet, you have that blessing of a space that you can call your own. You complain about not having those trendy clothes, but, you have something to cover your body with, right? You complain about your body all the time. That we are all kind of, most of us are guilty of, isn't it? And that's functioning day and night for us. So many functions that are just happening, we're not even aware of. It's fighting infections left, right, and center all the time. Yeah? So you see, crisis doesn't change life. Crisis changes perspective. Yeah? And life is always fragile, okay? Life is always uncertain, by the way, folks. Remember, there was this, client I was on a call with last week. And, she said that, can you guarantee results, Can you give me like 100% guarantee that if I do this, I will get this? And I told her that, we live in an uncertain world, We don't even have a guarantee of life. Tomorrow we can die. We can die in the next moment. Isn't it? So when you say guarantee, what guarantees do we have in life? isn't it? However, of course, when you do the work, when you do your inner work, when you combine healing with that, I mean, what I've seen is are amazing results, right? And my website is full of that. So of course, that's what I told her. But that's what I want to tell you, or tell all of you, right? That life is always uncertain. But when we are forced to see it, that's when gratitude flows naturally. Yeah. So the real wisdom is don't wait for crisis. Practice gratitude now. Practice presence now. Because nothing, absolutely nothing is guaranteed. I also want you to all to come out of that mentality of being, I'm forgetting the word, entitled, right? We're so entitled to all the things in our lives, be it, money coming in, being, having a job, being entitled even with our breath. But folks, let me tell you, nothing in this world is guaranteed. But one thing is definitely guaranteed and consistent in your life: your alignment, your energy, and your frequency. Till you're alive, you can be in that energy, you can be in that frequency, and if you are, then everything else in your life will, like, it's the law, it will match your frequency. There is no doubt about that. Yeah. So let's do a quick guided visualization. So wherever you are, I want you to just sit comfortably and close your eyes if you can. And just take 3 long deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And relax. Relax your whole body. And imagine it's your last day on earth. You're lying down, looking back at your life. What moments stand out? The laughter of your loved ones, the sunsets you almost missed, the hugs, the love, the little victories. Now imagine you could rewind time. What would you do differently? Would you complain less and love more? Would you work less for approval and live more for joy? Would you hold the people you love just a little longer? Now breathe deeply and realize you have that chance right now. You don't have to wait until the end. You don't have to wait for a tragedy. You can live with gratitude today. Yeah. Take a deep breath in, and whenever you feel comfortable, open your eyes gently. Yeah. Now I want to tell you 3 simple practices that you can take with you. Okay. One is a morning gratitude check-in. Okay. Before you touch your phone, name 3 things you're grateful for. Okay. Out loud. Let your nervous system hear it. Okay. Make this a daily habit. Okay. Next is love before sleep. So every night before bed, message or whisper gratitude for that one person in your life, even if you've had a fight that day. Yeah. So every day, make it a practice to choose love, whatever might have happened that day, with every person in your life, or as many people in your life, or at least that one person in your life, right? And the complaint flip. Next time you complain about something, your job, partner, your body, just pause. Ask, if I lost this tomorrow, how much would I miss it? And that one question will instantly shift your energy. Just practice these 3 things at least every day, and you'll see a change. Yeah. My friends, remember, we are all mortal. Okay. One day, each of us will become a memory. The question is, what kind of memory do we want to leave behind? One filled with complaints, regrets, and wasted moments, or one filled with presence, gratitude, and love? Don't wait for crisis to wake you up. Again, like I said, we are programmed that way, but we don't need to go through all of these hoops and tunnels to find love, to find money, to find health, to find all the good things in life. We can just fly directly to it. Yeah. Don't wait for loss to teach you value. Choose gratitude now. Choose presence now. Because this moment is all we really have. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this episode today. Please share it with anyone and everyone you think needs to hear this. And thank you so much for sharing the space with me today. Until next time, keep breathing, keep loving, and keep living fully in the now. Signing off, Anisha Dutt from Zaria Healings.